My name is Juan Alzate. I was born in Medellin, Colombia. ISTA is, well, starting with the acronym International School of Temple Arts. ISTA, as it relates to the power of our sexuality, why I feel that that's so important and supportive to people is that it helps us reclaim our sexuality. Um, but first of all, what I think is really important is that it takes sexuality out of this box of our genitals and only done in a specific way. And it moves its sexuality to actually what it means to be alive. That to be alive, the only way you came to be alive was through a sexual act. You know, it might have been physically with your parents, but moving through the womb into the world, even just breathing is a sexual act, right? Like you're penetrating, you're allowing life to come into you every time you breathe in, and you're allowing life to come out of you every time you breathe out. And so for me, most people have so much shame, guilt, and fear in their sexuality. And so they repress their energy, they repress their life force because it only is defined a certain way. But when a person can see that sexuality is bigger than just your genitals, bigger than just, sex as a physical act, but actually the act of interacting with life, right? That the way that you do your art and the way that you express yourself, the way you dance, the way you let life move through you, when it's not just in your genitals and into your entire body, when you start to vibrate your life force energy, what I've noticed is that people feel free. They feel free to be who they are. They no longer have to hold themselves back. And they have a new way to access their sexuality that becomes sacred, becomes magical. So yeah, it's the level one experience is 7-day training. And for me, I often say that it's like doing 7 days of deep plant medicine. Um, and for people who don't know what that means, it's 7 days of going really deep into yourself, but without using any substances, only simply using the practices that we have. And the big thing that people see when they see the name, they see the part that says sexual, but it's the um, spiritual, sexual, shamanic experience. And so, what that means is that we bring in elements of spirituality, how to connect with God, how to remember that your connection with God has never been severed, that you always have it, that it's part of you, that you are spirit and the divine. And that we move into the shamanic element where we are being able to communicate with spirit, to move energy and to see how energy moves in our body and moving into those energies into your sexuality. And for me, when we get into that place of working with our sacred sexuality, um, it begins with reclaiming your body as the temple, reclaiming that your body that is an animal should be respected and is actually your best friend. It's not just this machine that you're supposed to like tell it what to do, right? That it actually has so much wisdom that it's a miracle. The body is a miracle. We still don't know how to make the body. Scientists are trying to still figure that out. It already knows how to do everything. And so when we have a more loving, respectful, sacred relationship with our body, then it allows more wholeness. In that wholeness, we're able to connect with our emotions, for example, and be able to reclaim our emotions as a source of power and something that we can express that is a potent, rather than this thing that we try to suppress and oppress since we were children, right? When we were told to
Mm,
not cry and to hold it down or don't get so angry or don't be so happy, right? Because anything that's beyond just this little narrow bandwidth of civilized human seems to be, you know, the only thing that's acceptable. And so for many people, myself included, I found that when I was able to actually express myself and feel my full emotion and not have to bring it down because it might be too much, that it was so liberating. That's something I see many people say when they do this work. Um, Another element is, you know, we may have spoken earlier about how the releasing our sacred sexuality from our genitals and allowing it to move through our whole body, as like our whole body is the genital, right? That our whole body is the erogenous zone. We start to feel life force vibrating through our whole body. It's this feeling of ecstasy, right? That can happen when we start to release where our energy was stuck and allow it to move through our whole body. And you know that I find that as we connect to our body and we connect to our emotions, then we can do like deep healing work for our child, the inner child that was told to shut up, that was too much, or that was restricted somehow, or had some trauma potentially, to start to bring that child back and remember that we're the ones that are here to take care of ourselves. We are our mother and our father, that we have that code within us as we go deep. And so for me, those are just some of the elements of how. What I notice happens to people is that they learn to love themselves in a way that they didn't know was possible, in a way that they never understood. And through that loving of themselves, of their body, of their sexuality, of their emotions, of all the other ways that they are, all the aspects that they are, then they're able to actually be able to love other people in a way that is healing, where community starts to form, where humans are with other humans and really are there like a family or a tribe that are supporting each other to keep showing up to their truth and to who they are, however messy or perfect or beautiful or ugly that it could be. I came because I wanted to deepen my journey as the masculine that I'm here to be. And the funny thing is that I went, and the first thing I really got was this deep understanding of the feminine, of my own feminine, of the feminine outside of me, and like how important it has been for me, even though I didn't know it or didn't have words for it, to find safety for my feminine in order for me to open. And that is the same, that is like a principle, a law that applies to all the feminine in all of the world, male body or feminine body, little babies or animals, like that part that needs safety. And so it was in my humbling to the feminine and to really understand that what it needs and how it feels and how it moves, that my masculine could rise to meet and hold the space. And so I feel for men, you know, even if we just went to the sexual element, right? Like at ISTA, we don't have or place people in any situation to have sex with each other. I think that's one of the misunderstandings. But we do have experience of seeing how does sex move through us? How does life force move through us? And when we're able to, as a man, find a way to balance our sexuality in a way that's not just generally genitally focused, but like come up to our heart, come up to our entire body, and not need, right? I think one thing for most men that I sense and I have seen and I have experienced is need, like I need to get it. It's out there and I have to go get it, and because that's what the man does. But to like be able to bring that energy back into myself, I know that I don't have to go get anything. I can be the source of my own love. I don't have to put it outside of myself. Um, then that energy stabilizes and it's easier actually to be with women or with whoever you have an attraction to. Um, and it also supports the healing of the feminine because as men, we may have this story that we are the ones that are causing pain or suffering somehow because we're men to women. But in this space where we have men and women, male bodies, female bodies, in the same room with deep respect for everyone, honoring everyone's boundaries, making sure that we know how to speak our truth and accept that other people have different truths and be able to still see who we are, right? And show up for our sisters in a way that supports healing. To me, it only made me a better man, if I would say that. Like I felt I left that container like, oh my God, how beautiful the journey of the woman or the feminine is, and how much more I have opened my consciousness to be able to uh, walk with them with more respect and as family, but also as fellow humans. who are here to create a better world, to create heaven on earth. ISTA in Colombia, I love that venue, not just because I'm from Colombia, but it's in a valley in the mountains. Every morning you see the sun come up, you see the beautiful clouds come out. And the people of Colombia are some of my favorite people in the whole planet. Like you just can't beat it. There's so much love, there's so much care. Everyone is there for you. And I'm personally excited to be there because it's my homeland. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're ready to be who you came here to be, and you're ready to let go of any excuses and be the full human, the full spirit, then come to this beautiful ISTA because we have an amazing team and this is the time.